So, NXT Battleground and Saturday Night Main Event happened this past weekend. Now, I'm recording this on the night that Raw took place, like right after Raw. So there might be some stuff that I'll talk about in terms of NXT Battleground that will probably be, addressed, whether it's on NXT or whether it's like this week's episode of TNA. But if that, if my opinions on anything get changed by that, I'll probably just put it in the last part. But moving on from that, first off, let's talk about Saturday Night's main event. This was probably the worst WWE show this year so far. Honestly, I would say WrestleMania honestly had worse moments, but it had better highs. So I would say this is kind of like just a disappointing event overall. It just didn't feel that important. The best matches were not great. They weren't like exceedingly good. They were just like matches that you would see on Raw or SmackDown. Those matches being like the steel cage match between Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre, which I understand why they probably didn't have as good of a match as they probably did. It could have been because of the fact that like the commercial breaks just made it feel like probably a faster match than it really was, or at least like there wasn't much of a match to watch, honestly. Secondly, due to the fact that both of them were apparently working hurt, I'm not so much sure on if Priest was hurt or not, but I knew Drew was going into this. It was like pretty open news that Drew had a hurt neck, and because of that, it was pretty obvious that he was more than likely gonna lose. But yeah, it was good for what it was, but obviously you could tell that they couldn't do much with, without injuring each other even further. I think they were trying to watch out for that, while also still trying to deliver on what their rivalry has been. And I've been enjoying the rivalry, but I hope this is the end of it. I'd like to see Damian and Drew go on to do better things. But with the rest of the card, the only match that really was better than the others was like the tag team match, Sami Zayn and Punk versus Seth and Braun. And to me, it was nothing special. Obviously, the ending really helped it, with Bronson Reed coming out, joining Seth and Braun, and as we know now, they are officially a group. We don't know what their name is yet. I wonder what it's going to be. It could be, I feel like it's going to be something like Future-ish, in a way, like the Prophecy. I think they should still go for like a Dangerous Alliance, that sort of stuff. There's not an official name for them now, but it's going to be interesting to see where they go with this. But in terms of everything else on the card, it was just kind of bland. They threw in a women's match on the SmackDown before this event just because it was very obvious that people were just like, hey, so are you going to add a women's match to this card? So they threw in Zelina versus Chelsea, and it was nothing of note. It was a pretty bland match. The only thing I really feel like gave it a bit of a boost, in my opinion, was the Code Red off the top, but obviously everyone was focusing on the botched 619, which to me is like, honestly, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think, it's a low-hanging fruit. It was a botch. People keep talking about it. I feel like the fact that it was a woman, Zelina Vega, who committed it is the reason why people are being so harsh about this, honestly. And I think it's just stupid to have a conversation about it. I think it was just an alright match. Hopefully they can do something better with the United States Championship. I hope they do what they've been doing with the IC title on Raw. Put some big names out there. It will definitely help with the title's reputation. Maybe have Charlotte go after it. Maybe have Julia. Put some like very well-talented people in that picture. But other than that, there was also, what other matches? There was the World Heavyweight Championship match, but there was another one that I keep John Cena versus R-Truth. This one I didn't even hate. To me, this was exactly what it needed to be. It was just kind of a fun time, honestly. It was just like a little filler of being like, hey, obviously this R-Truth, childhood hero John Cena stuff is stuff that we've been running with for a long time, and here's just us acknowledging that in a way. I think that was very good. I enjoyed that. I know a lot of people were complaining about it, being like, oh, this felt like a wasted spot. To me, it was exactly what it needed to be. It was on a show where you could get away with having an R-Truth match. It wasn't a big pay-per-view by any means. So, like, people complaining and being like, oh, this is a wasted spot. Like, first of all, what did you expect? They've been doing, again, the R-Truth, John Cena childhood hero thing for a long time. Obviously, they should pay it off in his retirement run. Even if he was a face, they should still find a way to pay that off. Like, also, some of you just need to know how, some of you need to learn how to just let loose and have fun a bit. Because, like, this was nothing, this was harmless. This was just a throwaway match, just having fun with it. Obviously, I have problems with a lot of John Cena's heel run, but it's not Truth getting involved. I feel like the Truth involvement in the Randy Orton feud were probably the best parts of it so far, just because it's playing off of stuff that already existed with Randy and John's long-standing rivalry, and R-Truth, you know, his whole thing with John Cena over the last few years. It's paying that stuff off so we can get to, like, the future and, you know, other shit that we can do with Cena. Even though I'm not very happy, admittedly, of what they're gonna do next with Money in the Bank. But I mean, we might as well talk about it now, because the only thing left in terms of Saturday night's main event is the World Heavyweight Championship match, which was, it was whatever. Jey Uso and Logan Paul are one of those, like, I don't think Jey Uso is one of those people who could carry someone to a good match. I think he is good in the ring. I don't think he has the ability to be, like, someone who could carry someone to a good match. Like, to me, that's someone who, like, that's someone like Kurt Angle or a Bret Hart or a Seth Rollins. Someone who can, like, carry someone who's not that good to a pretty good match. And I just don't think Jay's that person, especially with someone like Logan Paul, who, like, kind of needs that person to get him there. And even then, a lot of Logan Paul's matches just feel very samey, and they just feel like nothing. His wrestling ability so far in the years that he has been doing this does not warrant him to be treated like an attraction like WWE wants him to be. Like, it's very clear that they're just like, yeah, but he has a lot of followers on social media, but, like, wrestling fans don't care about that. Wrestling fans do not care about Logan Paul. It was entertaining at first because it was like, oh, this guy who has no history with this, you know, picked it up very well, but that magic is gone now. Now he just feels like every other guy, but now he, for some reason, is treated like a special star when he has no reason to warrant that. But yeah, the match ended with Jay beating Logan. Cena came out, tried to help Logan win, but Cody came out instead. Finally returning. Very disappointing that he had to return here. Just didn't really feel like a big deal because everyone could kind of tell, like, where this was going to go. I don't think the Travis Scott tag match is going to happen. That's been something that's been rumored for a while. I mean, we'll see though, but honestly, I feel like we're going to keep it just on a 2-on-2, and I feel like that's why this return kind of was let down. I mean, the crowd went hot for it, but I think that's why not a lot of people have been talking about it, online at least. But I mean, honestly, basing conversation about wrestling based on what people are saying online is pretty stupid anyways, so, like, why bother? But, you know, I'm excited for Cody being back. Hopefully, you know, the crowds are smart this time and actually cheer for him, because it's just like, yeah, I understand, because, like, I do think that putting the title back on him would probably be the best choice. I don't think this retirement tour with this title run really needs to go any longer. I feel like this title run should end by the end of the year. Like, it shouldn't end by the end of the year. Like, there should be a stretch where he just doesn't have the title, but maybe either keeps coming after it or keeps putting himself in feuds, shit like that. I don't know. I feel like this heel turn, while I have been enjoying it here or there with, like, the Randy stuff and the R-Truth stuff, it's something that really does not have a lot of legs on it. And you can just tell that I think John just doesn't really know where to go with this, because the way that he sounds as a heel sounds so fucking weird. It really does. And you can see it in, like, that little backstage segment he did with Jay before the match. It just felt off. But yeah, now we're gonna get a tag team match between him and Logan versus Cody and Jay. Whatever. That's gonna be whatever. I don't really understand why Logan's even in that match. I don't understand why Logan would be in that match. I guess that's some way they could do a Logan Cena stuff without, you know, turning Cena back into a face. You know, some way to get that. Honestly, I do not care to see them in the ring together, whether they're facing against each other or with each other. But I mean, we'll just have to wait and see where this goes. Other than that, I mean, we do have some matches, you know, either updated or announced for Money in the Bank next. Seth Rollins and Penta are added into the Money in the Bank ladder match. Honestly, I think Seth is going to win it. I feel like this new faction is so hot that it's kind of, like, not a smart move to not put him in it, to, like, not have him win it. I feel like it would work great. It would give him, like, you know, it would give Jay a way to, like, look good in defeat by having Seth cash in on him. I don't really know who else could win it right now. I mean, LA Knight's an obvious choice for everyone. Honestly, with the Cena stuff going on right now, it probably would be the right choice to have LA Knight do it. So honestly, I mean, I'm a big Seth guy though, so honestly, I would like to see him win it, even though I don't think he needs it to win it. I feel like he'll find himself in the title conversation anyways, like he has already. So honestly, you know what? I convinced myself. I think LA Knight should win it. I feel like with the Cena stuff on right now, it's probably for the best. I don't know who else is going to be involved in this match. I know there's like a qualifier on SmackDown, but that's only for the 5th spot. Karrion Kross might be in the 6th qualifier, but honestly, if CM Punk is involved with it, which more than likely he will be, he probably will win that, but we'll just have to wait and see. But in terms of the women's, I don't think any women got added. Yeah, it was just like men's qualifiers for Raw, so I don't think anyone got updated to that. But we did get an announcement that there will be a last chance match for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Honestly, I'm interested to see where this goes. It's going to be interesting to see. I feel like this will be where we see Bayley return, but I think when she returns in the match is going to determine the victor. Like if she returns once the match is done, I think that will probably mean that Becky wins. But if she returns during the match, I think that's going to be the chance that Lyra's going to get to beat Becky. So we'll just have to wait and see. I think Lyra retaining would be for the best. I don't think Becky needs to win in this. And I feel like if the goal is to just, go into a Becky-Bayley feud, it would probably be best to keep Lyra champion. That way she has like a glorified win under her belt. And who knows, maybe if she does lose, she can still stay in the title scene. Honestly, that would probably be better for her because I don't think the Raw Women's Mid-Card title, like the, mid-card title scene is that strong that once Becky is gone and once Bayley is gone and they're doing their solo feud, it would honestly be able to stand up to par. Like, I don't think there's another big name they could just throw in there unless they want to put like Rhea or Io or Kairi. Well, not Kairi. Kairi, it's very obvious. I don't think they consider Kairi that big of a name. Or like Roxanne. Also, you could put Roxanne in there, and it'll be great. But we'll see. I mean, they had a great match at Backlash. Arguably, they had the best match of the night. So they'll probably do even better, honestly. I can't wait to see that. We also have Worlds Collide, which is on the same weekend. But this will be kind of like an NXT, WWE, AAA, like AAA collaboration show. We did get announced that Chad Gable will be facing off against Vikingo. Now, apparently, this is being labeled as a match for the AAA Mega Championship, which is currently being held by Alberto Del Rio, or what he's called now, Alberto El Patron. Currently he is the Mega Champion, but apparently he and Vikingo are going to have a match before Worlds Collide for the title. So I think that's kind of like WWE accidentally giving away the ending for the title match, because it's been up in the air of whether WWE was going to bring in Alberto with their acquisition of AAA. And a lot of people, I believe there was some news that there were some contracts signed, but it was a little up in the air of whether these were like new contracts that were made like separately from the acquisition, or these were just contracts that they made due to the acquisition, or maybe were forced into. If this is true, that they are essentially going to take the title out off of Alberto, put it on Vikingo, and then have him defend it against Chad Gable, I think that's them saying they don't want to be associated with Alberto. They would just had to give him a new contract, but they'll probably let him go. I think it's more like they were contractually obligated, but they just don't want to work with him, so they'll just keep him on payroll until his contract expires, or they can just release him, which I think is probably for the best because Alberto's a piece of shit. But we also got news that Legado del Fantasma is going to be facing off against, I'm going to be honest, I have no idea about AAA, so I'm not going to pretend, but they're going to be facing off against a trio of luchadors. I'm still going to watch it because I would like to get introduced to these guys for the first time ever, see if they're good. But I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm a big expert on AAA, and what goes on over there. But we also got an announcement during NXT Battleground that Ricky Starks, if he is able to retain his title against Ethan Page on NXT this week, will be defending his title at Worlds Collide against a mystery opponent who knows, will probably be revealed after the title match, but we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, so far I've been enjoying the setup for Worlds Collide, even though it hasn't been a big thing. I do like that now they're putting a little bit more focus on it. I felt like it was going to be something that they were going to keep under the radar, but at least they seemingly are trying to build up to something, which is good in my opinion. There was some chicanery with some female wrestlers from AAA during Battleground with Stephanie Vaquer. I don't remember their names, but you know, it's at least cool to see them trying, because honestly, I did not think they were going to try. And even then, I still don't like the way that they're treating it, because they're just putting it away on YouTube. They're just like giving the event away on YouTube, which is cool because it will allow a lot more people to see it just by making it free. But to me, I think that says a lot more about how they view this acquisition and this event, because like this is a company that obviously favors money more than anything else. So the fact that they're just like, yeah, we could just give this away for free probably means they don't have high hopes for this, and they just wanted to buy it just because they could get more talent, more shit. Not a big fan if that's the case. I think that's a little gross, but we'll just have to wait and see. But what else? I mean, obviously now getting into NXT Battleground, this was a fucking solid pay-per-view overall. Like just top down, overall just a great pay-per-view. Even the match that I thought was going to be like nothing, like the Hank and Tank, Josh Briggs 6-man tag, was pretty fucking good. Everyone did a great job during the match. Loved that Inamura returned. Who knows? Maybe that was the plan all along. I've heard some people speculate that maybe this was a trade with Noah and WWE, that maybe Omos will go back to Noah for like an excursion, and they'll just like, you know, maybe they'll keep the titles, like keep each wrestler for an extended period of time, or they'll just keep them there. Honestly, if Noah just takes Omos and WWE gets Yoshiki and Mora, I think that's a great trade. I think Omos was definitely better off in Noah. At least they treat him with a lot of respect instead of WWE just doing nothing with him. And with Inamura, I mean, fucking I wouldn't say he got over. I think he got the crowd pretty much behind him anytime he went into the ring. Like, he is just a special star. I think putting him in front of a lot more people's eyes is a great idea. And I think his tag team with Josh Briggs was great and was just kind of wasted potential. Honestly, they didn't do much with them, and I feel like they have the potential to do a lot more. So hopefully we get to see more of them. But other than that, there was the Women's North American Championship match, which a lot of people have been talking about for good reasons and bad. The good reasons are obviously it was a great match, great show opener. The bad was obviously people like, you know, being weirdly critical just because they're women, honestly. Like, even though it's not like, oh, they're women, ew, gross. Like, that's not the critique. It is like, why don't you critique the men to the same standard? A lot of people just saying like, I think like comparing them to like an Osprey match, shit like that. It's just weird stuff. Overall, the match was great. No complaints here. And then there was, what's the other match? Shit, I'm blanking. The one that wasn't a world title match. Oh yeah, it was Tony D'Angelo and Shane Stacks Lorenzo. Honestly, pretty good match. Honestly, this was the same as the 6-man, where I was like, this has the potential to not be that great. I think it was really good for what it was. I think Stacks and Tony have great chemistry with one another. Obviously, I feel like you should if you used to be in a tag team together. But these two just work really well. I'm interested to see where they go with this, because like the ending of the match made it look like Luca was siding with Stacks. But then he goes into the middle of the ring and tries to shake Tony's hand, but then Tony blows him off. Like the ending left me a bit confused, and I'm not sure where they're gonna go with this. I'm both half intrigued and a little like, I feel like you don't have a plan. Honestly, there's a part of me that feels like they don't have a plan, but there's another part of me that's just like, I could be wrong. And I really like the D'Angelo family drama I have for a very long time. So we'll see where this goes. But now getting into the world title matches. First off, we have the NXT Women's Championship match between Stephanie McCare and Jordynne Grace. Absolute banger. Just fucking great. My favorite moment of it is when I believe it's like Devil's Kiss is what she calls it. The move, you know, the Booker T move, if you know what I'm saying, where Stephanie, you know, rams her opponent's head in when they're between her knees. There was a moment where she tried to go for that, but then Jordynne Grace was able to roll out of the ring while she had like the head scissors locked in, dropped her on the announce table, and then just stared into Booker T's eyes. I thought that was pretty funny. I really liked that. But everything else, it was just like pure, it wasn't like just pure chaos. It was just like pure magic. You could just tell that Jordynne Grace and Stephanie McCare have magic between each other, in that they're just both incredibly talented performers. I think the Julia match was a little bit better, but like the Jordynne Grace Julia match. But honestly, this one was just so fucking good as well. Honestly, it's not night and day. It's like very close. It's very close between the two of like which is a better match. Same with like the Stephanie Julia. I would say the Stephanie Julia match was definitely better, but it's like Stephanie, Julia, and Jordan, when they have one-on-one matches with each other, they just create absolute magic. It's just absolutely great. Then the match after that, Obafemi versus Miles Bourne. This was kind of like a make or break for Miles in a way, because it's just like you're either gonna have a pretty good match or you could steal the show, and he came pretty damn close in my opinion. I think this match, it was the longest match in the entire show, and it never felt like there was like a dull moment. I felt like they did very well on doing like the Miles is the underdog. It's gonna be interesting to see where they go with him with like the no quarter catch crew and shit like that. But this match overall was just great. Just like the little moment at the end where Opa is leaving the ring, and while he doesn't like, give Miles all of his flowers, he does acknowledge Miles of being like, you did a good job, shit like that. I really like that little moment. I think it's very like consistent with Opa's character of him just being like, I'm not gonna give you praise, but I will acknowledge that you did a good job. But yeah, overall, just a really good match. I'm excited to see where Miles goes after this. Who knows? Maybe North American Championship down the line. We'll just have to wait and see. Obviously, I think they're gonna probably do something with him and Dempsey. Maybe. We'll see. But at the end of the day, just overall a really great match. And then we have the main event, which I honestly, I was a little baffled that this was going to be the main event, just because I didn't think they would have the main event be for a title that they don't like own, and that is the TNA World Heavyweight Championship between Joe Hendry and Trick Williams. And I'm gonna be honest, this match I feel like did a great job at kind of putting the people who talk bad about Joe Hendry and Trick Williams down, because these are two guys who a lot of people just kind of like put up there as like I would say like a meme wrestler in a way of being like, oh, they're just catchphrases and shit like that, like whoop that trick, say his name, they're meme wrestlers. I feel like a lot of people put them in that corner. I think they did a hell of a job proving that they're actual wrestlers. Like, they are amazing at what they do. To me, this was on the same level as like the other matches I just talked about. It was just fun non-stop. There was a great moment between Trick and Booker T. I just loved that, where Trick just stared at his hand and then he just looks over to Booker T, and Booker T just nods and he's like, yes, do it. It was incredible. I loved it. Only for Joe Hendry to come up and give him like a bookend, essentially. It was great. But yeah, I feel like this match really showed that like Trick and Joe have really, they're just a lot more than just being the meme wrestlers. They have a lot more to offer. And honestly, I feel like this was probably one of Trick's better matches. I feel like ever since the triple threat match at Stand and Deliver, Trick has shown that he is not just, the catchphrase. He's not just whoop that trick. He has drastically improved in the ring, and now he's just finally able to really showcase how good he can be. And honestly, I could honestly see him getting called up in the next, probably by the end of the year. Maybe even the middle of the year. I think that would be the right choice. Maybe whenever they decide to bring the draft back. Honestly, I could see him definitely being one of the call-ups. And I think that would be the right choice. But as of right now, he is the TNA World Champion, which is such a weird thing to say. I believe he is the first WWE contracted star to hold the TNA World Championship when he's not a member of TNA. Obviously, there's been other, wrestlers outside of the TNA company that have won the title. I believe the first one was Kenny Omega, then the second one was Christian Cage, who then dropped it to Josh Alexander, but he is the first one from WWE, and he's not even on the main roster, which is incredible. He is a world champion before he's even on the main roster as a WWE signed wrestler. I think that's really great. I think it says that they have a lot of hope for Trick. I think it's a good acclimate for him to win before going to it. I feel like by this, having him win this, honestly, I think it's a good sign for him when he gets to the main roster, because all right, now he proved he can win a world title match. Like, he can be a world champion, even if it's like of a lesser promotion. He's still a world champion, So I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. It's gonna be interesting. I feel like they're doing a lot more with this TNA. I think they're doing a lot better with this TNA crossover stuff now. I like that they're adding Mike Santana. He's gonna have a match with Tavon Heights. I've been liking every now and again I try to keep up with TNA, not regularly, but I like what they've been doing with Mike Santana. They've been trying to make him the big face for the company. Hopefully he can win the world title soon. Honestly, he'll probably beat Trek for it, but we'll have to see where this goes with Joe Hendry, because I feel like Joe Hendry, the crossover WWE probably isn't done yet. They did say that there was possibly going to be something with him and Oba, so maybe we'll explore that. We'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, as of right now, I mean, this is all I really got. Again, by the time this video comes out, TNA will probably, have their show. NXT will be aired. I'll probably have to correct some of the stuff. But overall, Saturday night's main event was very disappointing, and NXT Battleground was probably one of the better shows this year. But that's all I really gotta say. I'll just leave it off here. Hello everyone, thank you for watching today's video. If you would like to see more videos like this, please leave a like and subscribe down below. If you would like to check out my main channel where I do political commentary as well as talk about internet drama and stuff like that, go follow my main channel Fruity Soar. If you would like to check out my gaming videos, you can follow me at Fruity Soar Gaming. But that's all I had to say for today. I'd like to thank you all for watching once again, and I will see you